I'm 37, so I missed the initial Big Nate surge. And so it's actually
Yeah.
been really fun for me to retroactively dive into the incredible Big Nate fan base that exists. I think that's one of the responsibilities I feel as the voice of the title character is to honor the source material of this iconic book series and comic strip franchise.
Ben, how you doing?
Hey, Brian, how are you, man? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, man. So I wanted to ask you this first. Obviously Big Nate's coming out on February 17th, but what made you want to be part of this project?
Well, I mean, certainly any job you get as an actor, especially in the middle of a pandemic, is a win. But
Yeah.
this one for me really stands out because I see so much of myself in Nate. I grew up in sixth grade drawing and doodling, and Nate literally is an artist. He draws on the show. One of the coolest parts about the animation on our show is that we're a CGI show, but Nate's doodles on the show come to life as 2D representations. So we're mixing mediums in animation. So I see a lot of myself in Nate, which obviously makes this an extra special project. And I think if you spoke to any actor on our show, they would say we're all basically playing elevated versions of ourselves. I had the privilege of already having friendships with all of the other series regulars before we were cast. And I think that real life friendship that we have in our dynamic really comes through in the show. My real life writing partner and improv partner is Arnie Pantoja, who plays Teddy Ortiz. And so, Arnie and I have been riffing together for years, and for that to come through as Nate and Teddy, it's just made this project extra special.
Absolutely. And Big Nate has been popular for 30 years. It started in a comic strip, then it went to a children's book, and now an animated series. So were you a fan of Big Nate growing up? Did you know anything about the comic strip?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm 37, so I missed the initial Big Nate surge, and so it's actually
Yeah.
been really fun for me to retroactively dive into the incredible Big Nate fan base that exists. I think that's one of the responsibilities I feel as the voice of the title character is to honor the source material of this iconic book series and comic strip franchise. And in the same vein, finding ways to elevate it and invite in a whole new generation of Big Nate fans that might not be aware of the decades of amazing Big Nate characters and stories that already exist. So it's been a lot of fun for me to sort of educate myself and read up on all of the characters. I think fans of the Big Nate series, the books and the comic strip, will be very happy with the way iconic characters and friendships and relationships are represented in the show. But I will say one of the things that's been exciting is all of our episodes are original storylines. And so we're really elevating it. The analogy I keep using is a house. The foundation of our house is the comic strip and the book series, but our television show now is adding floors and rooms and levels to that house and really trying to elevate the material to new and exciting ways.
Absolutely. And what do you think makes Nate Wright a lovable character? I know you mentioned about his drawing and how that comes to life, but what are some of the other things that makes him a very popular character?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that stands out to me and the thing I admire most about Nate is his just unabashed confidence and bravado, even when it's kind of unearned.
Yeah.
He's really got some deep-seated insecurities, which he tries to cover up, but he really thinks he's awesome and thinks his friends are awesome and doesn't really care what other people think of him. And, in many ways, this show is a sixth grade do-over for me. I was an introvert. I had trouble making friends in sixth grade. I spent a lot of my time drawing by myself. And Nate has all the confidence in the world. He's got this great group of friends. They get into total mischief together, so much trouble and hijinks and misadventures. And I think the biggest thing that stands out for me about Nate is his just incredible level of confidence, no matter the circumstances. And I think we could all learn a little something from that and find our own inner confidence and define what it means to be awesome in our own lives.
Absolutely. And when it comes to the show, what makes Big Nate stand out from other animated series from Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus?
Yeah, no, it's a great question, and I think as objectively as possible as I can say this, I have never seen an animated show look this gorgeous before.
Mm,
The CGI is so interesting because while we are a 3D show, we're mixing mediums. Nate's drawings do come to life as 2D doodles on the show. There's other formats of animation represented. There's stop motion. There's like cutout animation. There's so many different visual styles represented. But the actual CGI is interesting in the way they've lit the show. Most animated series will just light a whole scene and it's very bright and shiny. Big Nate, I mean, PS38, the school they go to, is an
mhm.
underfunded public school. It's gritty.
Yeah.
It's grimy. You can see the texture of people's skin on the show.
Mhm.
It almost looks like claymation. And so I think that sort of gritty quality of the show is actually evident in all aspects of it. I think the comedy is a little edgy. I grew up watching Doug and Rugrats and Ren and
Yeah.
Stimpy. And the thing that I love most about those OG Nicktoons is that there was a little bit of edge to them. Adults and kids alike can enjoy various pieces of humor in it. And I think the same is true for Big Nate. I think it's been a long time since I've seen a show where so many different generations are going to find something to love about this show. It truly is an animated series for the whole family. And the comedy, I think, thrives because we record this thing as an ensemble. And that allows us to riff and to
Mm,
improvise. And there's so many wonderful little magical moments that are not reflected in the page that we're able to discover by playing off of each other, which I will add is a huge achievement because we've all done that remotely during the pandemic. For 2 years, we've created a television show and none of us have ever been in the same room.
mm. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really awesome. But just a couple questions left for me before I let you go is you've done a lot of voiceover work. You've done a lot of work for Nickelodeon. Did you ever think growing up that you would be doing a bunch of projects for Nickelodeon? Because as you mentioned, you've grown up watching the network. Did you ever think it would be doing this many projects for Nickelodeon?
It's really been a dream. I grew up, with my little sister watching, basically everything on Nickelodeon. And so obviously my on-camera work with them has really strengthened my relationship with the network. I've played the toddler on Henry Danger and Danger
Yeah.
Force for almost 10 years, which is crazy to say out loud. It's been a dream come true. I grew up on the stage. I love theater. Certainly when you work for a kids television network, you get to be a little broader with your performances, and I think that's been a lot of fun. I've been very grateful to have this kind of relationship with Nickelodeon and Nick Animation, and certainly I think I'm very excited about our relationship with Paramount Plus, and that the fact that people are going to experience this on a streamer. Because I think it opens us up to an even wider audience. So, I've just been so grateful. I'm so humbled, especially during this sort of challenging 2 years of our lives, to
Mhm.
get to escape the pandemic every week, step into PS38 and Radcliffe and this wonderful misfit group of friends. It's been a dream come true, and I get to do it with my real life friends. And I think those friendships that are very authentic are authentically represented on the show as well.
Absolutely. And that leads into my last question. What are some of the goals you have moving forward when it comes to your career? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, it's a great question. I certainly, I'm always first and foremost an actor, but I would love to create a show
Mhm.
and, be a showrunner. And hopefully that's at Nickelodeon at some point. My writing partner, Arnie Pantoja, who plays Teddy on the show. It's Nate and Teddy. We've got 17 properties that we've written together. We're pitching left and right. So I think our ultimate goal, me and Arnie, is to sell a show and run our own show at some point. And certainly, I hope that there's a potential for that at some point with Nickelodeon.
Yeah, that would be awesome if it does happen. So, Ben, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Congratulations on Big Nate and continued success to you.